All right, my friends, happy to have you here tonight. I have a special guest this evening named Chris Cioffi. He's a unique individual. He's inspired me deeply. He's been through some stuff that none of us would ever expect. And of course, it all happens when you don't expect it to happen. And I love Chris. I appreciate what he's doing in this world, how he's helping people's lives change that have suffered similar things to himself. I'm not going to go into a big explanation. That's why Chris is here, so he can go into the big explanation. And I'm very, very happy to have all of you folks here tonight. Make sure that if you're interested in what Chris has to say or what he's teaching, that you ask some questions, make some comments. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Give us the thumbs up, give us the heart, give us some comments. Let us know if you're where you're calling in from, if you're have that ability or desire. And we're going to find out where Chris is calling in from when I get a chance to ask him some questions. Chris, welcome, my friend. How are you tonight?
Hi, Dean. Thank you for having me. This is incredible, and I'm extremely grateful for being here with you and all your friends and people you love and care, and sharing me with them is just awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's an honor for me to have this opportunity, and I'm glad that you're honored as well, my friend. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to having you share with us what you've been through, the challenges you've faced, and how it's made you the man you are today, my friend. So go ahead. What is your area of expertise and your story about what happened to make you do the thing you're doing now, brother? Let us have it.
All right. Well, to go right back from the beginning, I was always good in math. I ended up ending in finance and accounting pretty much through my whole career. I was a financial manager for a Fortune 500 company. Maybe actually you guys remember pagers?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah, they ran into problems with the tech bubble, but I was managing a company basically, or the finances for them,
Right
which
on.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And after that, I was in mergers and acquisitions, so I was selling companies, I was involved, and the last real step in the finance career was I was working for a company doing leasing contracts. So finance was always in my groove and always what I was doing. Matter of fact, it was leaving work when somebody ran a red light, and I woke up in the hospital 3 hours later.
Wow.
Major concussion. They said you have minor traumatic brain injury, and for years it was just a constant pounding headache. The first few years I thought I could work through it. Right? Yeah. Get up and go. You get up and go. You get up and go. Push on through. You're going to get better eventually.
Yep.
But I didn't. Went from being I played ice hockey. I'd go to concerts, out for dinners, dating, the whole world from that standpoint. To you go to work. I get up at 7 a.m, go to the office. 12 o'clock, I'm asleep in the car for the lunch hour. Push through the rest of the day. Get home, eat some dinner. 6 o'clock, I was back in bed.
Wow.
Until 7 the next morning.
Wow.
And even with that, it was hard to focus. Concentrating on work was difficult. I was missing for doctor's appointments all the time. Mm-hmm. And eventually I was out. Downsizing in the corporate world.
Right.
What a wonderful, beautiful term they use for that. So I continued to get worse from there. My brain might have been 50 or 60%, but then it kept going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my minor traumatic brain injury was degenerating.
Wow.
And the accident happened in 2012.
The accident was in 2012?
2012, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was out for 3 hours, woke up in the hospital. It was just, part of life, and it happens to other people in this world, right? Accidents happen. People have brain injuries from accidents, concussions from sports.
That's right.
It happens to a lot of people. Traumatic brain injuries from the people who serve in the military, etc. There's lots of people who struggle with mental issues.
Right.
So, where was I? I guess I was saying that, in 2019, I had a battery test done by a neuropsychologist. And he said, Chris, you're down at 10% life functionality.
Wow. Wow.
It would take me all day to get the effort to go to the store. Just the energy to go up the corner to pick up some milk and bread or something simple like that. All right. But mom wanted me to get out of the house from time to time. I was actually, and here's another thing. I ended up, losing pretty much everything along the way and living home with my parents again.
Wow. Wow.
Part of, everything fell apart on that trip downhill.
Wow. You went from having it all to having nothing in a short period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, when you're, I know that you mentioned playing hockey, and I know that when it comes to professional sports, not that you were a professional, but when we are involved in those high intensity sports, concussions are a factor. And I know that the doctors were able to diagnose your issue. Was there a lot of monitoring going on during that period where you were degenerating, or were you just sent home and left to be at home?
I was pretty much sent home. I'm actually on disability right now still, but it took me till 2019, beginning of 2019, before I finally was able to get onto disability because of the way the government system works. So, from 2014 when the job ended through 2019, I was pretty much trying to figure things out on my own. And I spent some money on that stuff too. I was, okay, well, try these pills. These can help you. And some of them were from different health companies out there as well, right? It's not like I was trying some things to help. If you have your diet really good, that's going to help fix you up. You'll be better no time with that. And you go with that lifestyle. You try. You make the efforts. I was putting some money into it.
And effort. I mean, who wants to stay in that case? I mean, who wants to not, struggle just to go to the store? And of course, you were aware that you were having troubles because you were, like you mentioned, you had headaches. So it was, pain medication, seeking, different procedures or techniques to build yourself up, to strengthen yourself, to heal yourself. Were you in a place where it was a situation where you couldn't get help?
No, I was actually still seeing some doctors here and there over the 5 years. I would go to a chiropractor. Amazing people that added some help. And don't get me wrong, there was some relief. You go to see the chiropractor and they do the adjustment and you go, that feels good. But the next morning you wake up and the head is still hammering away. And after 8 years of the brain just hammering away, things were wrong that shouldn't be wrong in a normal person.
That's right.
You want to eat, but your brain is sending signals that you need to go throw up. It's sending the wrong messages to your system.
Wow.
That's, at least for me, that's what was happening. As I would go, it's sending the wrong messages. I would be sitting here at the computer and I'm so dizzy that I have to go lay down because I'm like literally falling off the chair mode. It's like if you had been drinking all night and or hammered out of your mind kind of thing.
Not that you did it on purpose, but that's what you were struggling with. Yeah.
That's right. That would be one day. And as I said, like with the stomach or in the eating issues or whatever, will be another day. And then another day, it's the inflammation in the head is so bad that my eyes are pretty much swollen shut. I couldn't see out of either eye to drive anywhere. Right. Wow. It's one thing after another. It's like spinning the roulette wheel and which thing's going to come up wrong today.
Oh, so it was a mixture of things. It would be this that day and that something else the next day. It wouldn't be a consistent or progressive. It would just switch back and forth. Well, except for the headache.
Along with the headache.
It
was a roulette wheel of what's wrong.
Wow. And I was blessed to meet some people that made a big difference for you a little while ago, Rick and Simone. And I'd like you to talk about how you ended up meeting Rick and Simone and the connection that you have and the technology that you're now using that makes such a big difference for people that are struggling with the challenges that you faced.
Sure. My headaches were so bad that I was actually living in Philadelphia when the accident occurred. But after I was let go from my job, I moved to California, down to San Diego, because that's where the best weather in America is supposed to be. And I thought maybe that will help some, because it felt like I was sucking on a slushie all too fast all day long in the winter.
Wow.
So I went to where the climate was better to try that to see if that would help. That's actually how significant my brain was hurting me.
Wow.
I
And
moved,
did that
not
help?
knowing anybody, I moved a little bit.
Yeah.
It might have been a 10% difference.
Wow. Which
Um,
really wouldn't be enough
that's
to make a difference, right? No.
not enough, especially as I was still sliding downhill.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting worse. It helped slow down the descent, I'd say, but it
Right.
didn't fix the problems either.
Wow.
And while I was in California is when I met Rick and Simone.
Beautiful.
And they're some incredible friends that I've known for a long time. After the diagnosis from the neuropsychologist, I was down to 10%. I went onto Facebook for one of those few times because really I could only focus for like maybe 5-10 minutes at a time. If I would go look at Facebook, it would be just to skim off it. I rarely posted anything. But I put up there that, I was really feeling depressed because your life is going away.
Yeah.
And they're my friends, and they went, "We think we can help you."
Beautiful.
And I went, "Okay, great." But I've heard this from so many other people before.
Okay.
I've tried so many different things over the time.
So here's a question for you.
Go ahead.
Would you consider yourself an expert on concussions now that you've been through all of this?
No, I'm not the scientific winner of everything. I just have my own personal experiences to go off of.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, having gone through a lot of it, I can tell and empathize with a lot of people who have these issues.
Yeah.
And as they're going through what they've had, I can sit there and say, yeah, that sounds awfully familiar to me too, in so many cases. So while I'm helping others to heal now, I'm still in the healing process myself. It's still raw. It's still real for me. Being in bed 15, 18 hours a day, just holding my head in pain. Yeah.
Wow. Still today?
No, not now. No,
Okay.
not anymore. No, this was just a year ago, though. I mean, it's only been 1 year. I started with what we're discussing in February 7th, 2020.
Wow, and that's when Rick and Simone started making a difference for you.
And that's when this new stuff started to make a difference in my life.
So tell us about this new stuff, my friend.
Absolutely. It's been a life changer, a game changer, life changer, however you want to call it. Basically, when I was talking to Rick and Simone, they said, our dad has been suffering with severe Alzheimer's symptoms. He's 93, and over the past year, we have brought him back to pretty much full health.
Nice.
And they said, we're listening to what you're saying about loss of focus and energy and all these different issues, that you're having. We think we can help. So what they did was they sent, well, actually, I'll start with this. They sent this in the mail, and I don't know if you can see it in the light.
Put it up to the
Unfortunately, in the daylight it worked. Here it doesn't.
Okay,
It's called X39, and it's they're stem cell patches. So basically, one of the hot items out in the world today is stem cells. Most people end up injecting them, and it costs an awful lot of money to do. These stem cell patches from LifeWave are this big. It's like putting a Band-Aid on. So all I do is for 12 hours, I peel one of these things off, and I stick it on the back of my neck. And what it did was activate my stem cells. Now, once again, I'm not the scientist. I didn't create these things. It's new. It's been around for about 3 years now.
Okay.
It works off of light energy. Your body releases light constantly. So you put on these patches, and there's little crystal patterns in the patches
Okay.
that reflect the light back into your body.
Oh.
So there's no drugs, nothing being put into your system. All it's doing is taking what you have, what the universe gives to you,
Right.
and using it to heal yourself.
Wow.
It's the most incredible thing I've ever run into in my life. Because I'm sitting here now. Last year, I was at 10% health. Now I want to say I'm around 60%.
Nice.
And getting better.
Nice.
And still getting better.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But part of what we're going to talk about, the patches are great, and I'm loving them. And I'm so grateful I got introduced to them. And I want to help anybody who's listening to this get you started. We're going to put up some links later on, I know, for people. And I want to be there to support you on the journey.
Beautiful.
Because it's taken, you know how they say with the whole take a village thing, it's taken a lot of support from a lot of people to get me even to where I am right now.
Yeah. And through all that time, I know Rick and Simone were your big supporters. They introduced you to the technology. Do they did they develop the technology, or do they just help you find it?
No, they found the technology for their dad.
Ah, okay.
Right? So he actually had 3 years of solid life that he would not he passed away, unfortunately, over the holidays. But he was 96.
Wow.
They had 3 more years with him able to talk and have conversations and dress himself and feed himself and all these things.
Yes.
That they would not have had. The doctor said he needs to go into a nursing home. And he was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they found this, and then they shared it with me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now, he was 93. I'm 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a big difference. I've got a lot of life left.
Indeed.
And this story, you and I know, we've been talking a little bit about it. This story needs to be out there because there's millions of people who suffer from concussions and accident issues and PTSD that can use this to help them.
Now, is this something that would help someone that just gets migraines?
Yes.
And
it would.
And so this is a migraine relief thing. This is a natural thing. This is not a medicine that you take orally. This is not an injectable thing. This is something that you just wear on the back of your neck. How long would you wear a patch for?
I put it on for 12 hours.
For 12 hours?
And I take it off, and I put a new one on. I actually rotate between the back of my neck, and then the other main place for me is the stomach, 2 inches below the belly button. Because your gut is a very big, important part of your health.
Indeed.
You know this as well. So for me, I put it on the back of my neck to help my brain and improve my brain functionality, but then also down to my stomach to help my gut. Those are the 2 main areas.
Did you have to change?
That's where my Go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you have to change your diet significantly to make this work better, or is this something that happen? Can you wear this patch on your stomach and still have a like some people, not a great diet and still see a result?
I do not think I have a great diet still.
Okay. So
there is still quite a bit of improvement for me with my diet. But this will activate stem cells and help you feel better. Like they say almost like you're 20 years old. Beautiful. Because as you get older, your stem cells slow down. Yep. By the time you're 80, they stop producing, basically.
Okay.
For most people. Right. But what this does, the way it reflects the light back in, it gets the copper peptides going, and your system says, wow, I'm 20.
Cool.
People see it. Women like it a lot of cases because the face lights up and fills in some more. There's lots of different things that helps with. My focus is on brain issues. Yeah. But my friend Diane, her husband went in for knee surgery. He had the one knee done, and then he had the other knee done. The first knee he had done took about 10 to 12 weeks to recover from for him. The second one, it took him 3.
Nice.
The difference between not having the patches and then a year later having the patches.
Wow, that's pretty significant. That's amazing.
So,
and this is you said something about crystals. Do you know what kind of crystals they are or how it's manufactured?
I don't know, and that's some of the probably the patented technology for LifeWave themselves
right.
that
Cool.
they use.
Cool.
So
but that's okay. Who cares what it is as long as it works, right?
that's exactly my standpoint to it. Hey, there's a lot of great clinical trials out there. There's over 100 patents. They're actually doing a clinical trial at Walter Reed Medical Center right now. It's a legit company. This is new technology that is changing the wellness world.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I'm sure you're even though you say you're only back to 60%, I'm sure it's a huge difference for you compared to when you were having the headaches and that roulette wheel of issues and all this sort of stuff. Can you speak to a lesson that you've learned through all this, something that you could share with the listeners that would help them with their pain and with their struggles?
Absolutely. Well, first thing I would say is you have to have consistency with whatever you choose to help yourself. Because at 2.5 weeks, I could have chosen to stop this. You get a sleeve of 30. So it's a 1-month trial, basically. Right? And I could have said, well, I might be feeling a little something and I'm good and that's it. But I said, no, I think there's a change here and I want to keep working on this. I could have stayed laying in bed for 15, 18 hours a day and feeling sorry for myself.
Yep.
And just keep sliding downhill. Or I could choose to make that change. So for everybody who's listening, you have to be the one to choose that you're going to get better. And I know we talk about that with Joe Dispenza, right?
That's right.
Shared with him. Your brain has a lot of control in your healing.
Yep.
If you say it's not going to work, these patches aren't going to work.
There you go. There you go. 100% true. And that's powerful reality for anybody that's listening, is to be aware that you have to make this choice and work with the process and be in belief, ask, believe, receive. And that's the only way to achieve. That's my culture and my tribe. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Chris, because a lot of people out there don't even realize that there's a solution for this challenge, for this problem. They don't even realize that there's people out there that suffer chronic headaches, that have had concussions that have changed their lives, just like yourself, and they need to hear this. And this is powerful stuff. Now, just out of curiosity, in the States, you're still in California, right?
No, I'm actually in Florida now. I left California and ended up, because my life kept going downhill. My parents are down in Fort Lauderdale area. So I went from one warm state to another warm state.
That's okay. As long as you're warm, that's all that counts, right? Because it's
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And so the question that I was working towards was with respect to healthcare and benefits. Is this something that's covered by health benefits in any form, or is this something that's always out of pocket?
There could be an option for HSA. We would have to look into it. Healthcare savings accounts. That I believe it's an option, but I haven't gone through it yet with somebody myself. So it's something that would have to be worked on a little more, but it could be possible. And actually, but going on that same line, LifeWave is a worldwide company, and they're over 100 countries right now. So in Canada, they have a distribution center, and actually I had just recently signed up friends from Canada, some family friends that fly down to here for the winter normally, and then not this year, of course, but most years they fly down and spend the snowbirds that come down here for their winter months. So they got the patches within 4 days of ordering.
Oh, nice. So is it a subscription thing that comes in the mail, or do you have to have a doctor's prescription for it? How does it work? Okay,
it's actually just retail purchases, or if you want to be a distributor yourself, you can. So I have one friend who said, I'm going to try these patches for me, and that's it. I have no interest in that, but distributors get the wholesale rates. So, being a little cost conscious, let's go with the wholesale rates and be a distributor. Okay, great, fine, wonderful. 3 months later, her hands are fine from, she got it for arthritis in her hand. and, cooking and cutting things up and struggling with that, right? So she said, that's better. But then realized that going up and down the steps doing the laundry, she used to take one step with both feet, then the next step with both feet.
Yes.
And realized that for about a month, she'd been walking up and down the steps, no problem.
Really? Nice. So would she have more limits on her hand and on her legs, or again, the neck and the stomach? How would that apply?
I believe she was using neck and stomach as well.
Nice. So it's a consistent program. It's a consistent format. You don't need a prescription for it. And does it end up being a subscription that you can, would it be cheaper to pay for it yearly, or does it just available monthly?
You could purchase a year's worth at one time. At one point, I actually, by having signed up as a distributor, I said, well, why not do that, right? And just like my friend who walking up down the steps, and arthritis in her hand, she said, I'm not telling anybody about this. This is just for me. And well, yeah, she's turned around and told her sister, told two of her neighbors. She's got the someone at the church is interested as well. So it's like, she's growing a business without trying, because she's just saying, my life is so much better. Just like I've been saying.
Beautiful. And it's amazing that you can have that circumstance be in your life, because you were desperate. You needed something to change. And there's, if I can't imagine having a headache for 8 years like yourself. It was 8 years, was it not, that you had the headache for?
8 years. And
wow.
I mean, really, I was taking different medications along the way at points, because your headache's bad, so you're taking the headache medication.
Yeah.
But then that turns your stomach, so your stomach's bad, so you're taking the stomach medication. And then this is bad, so you're right. So I had like probably 6 or 7 different medications I was taking. And I started in February. I want to say by July, it's like, well, I'm not sure, maybe 2 or 3 months. Maybe I don't need quite as much of this one. So I backed down what I was taking.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need quite as much of this one, so I backed down what I was taking. I want to say by August, I was done with all the medication. And now I still take vitamin D and a couple different things out there to, for your own health. Yeah. But all those drugs are gone.
Cool.
Within 6 months.
Nice. Got to appreciate that. And as you've gone through this, is there some advice that you would share, some specific advice to people that are struggling with this? I know we're getting close to our time, so I'm going to start showing your links there. So
sure.
As soon as you answer that question.
All right. Yeah, I would say a couple things. Find yourself some reasonable goals, because what was happening over the years was I was setting a goal and I'd miss the bar, and I'd set a lower goal and I'd miss the bar, and I'd set a lower goal and I'd miss the bar. So a big part of coming back from a head injury is you need to find some reasonable goals and then start hitting them.
Beautiful.
Okay, I can get up, I can hold a plank position for a minute, right?
Nice.
Maybe it's only 15 seconds. Okay, great. Now I can hold it for a minute. Or walking on a treadmill. I can walk 0.2 of a mile today. And then it's 0.3 of a mile. And then you're walking a mile. And so you got to find some small things to hit. Now, obviously, those were physical, but also for the mental side. Little things that you can do to be successful, because the success will build upon itself.
That's right. So mental exercises, you mentioned exercise and then you said mental. What would be some mind exercises or mental exercises that someone could choose to do?
There's lots of different computer games out there. Like there's a Luminosity is out there. For me, I found a city building game, which kept me going with the how do you build your city up and make it efficiently running and stuff like that. So that kind of kept me holding on. That's really one of the few things that kept me holding on through all the years of pain that I had. Was the lumber is ready to be picked up in 9 hours. If you don't get it for 12 hours, oh well. But it was one of those things that at least got me out of bed and moving a little bit. So you need to find things to do to keep your brain going.
Yes, I had a brother-in-law that had struggled with Alzheimer's, and one of the biggest things that he could do was play Scrabble.
Yeah, that's a great option too.
Yeah, working, just exercising the memory of the words and thinking about it, structural thinking. You know, where like you're building the city, like you say, and you have to consider planning and timing and so on and so forth. You can't put the roof on until you put the walls up and all that sort of stuff, right? And all that stuff. That's awesome, Chris. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to run through your links here now, so everybody knows where to find you. This is your Facebook page.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes. So.
And if anybody reaches out to there, they can obviously contact you on Messenger once they. Is that your personal profile there?
Yeah, that's my personal profile on Facebook. So you can reach me, send me messages, and I will be happy to talk with anybody that would like to. Because as we've talked about, and it's going to take the friends of the family in a lot of cases, right? I've been fortunate to have support. You have to be able to support those that are struggling, and most of us know someone who's struggling. So it's a matter of stepping in as a family, as a good friend, and helping them get better one day, 1 week, 1 month at a time.
Beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah, message me. I'll be able to help. LinkedIn as well. We've got that there.
And this is the website?
Yeah, if you are listening to this and just want to make a purchase, I'd appreciate you giving me the credit because I showed it to you. You can just go there if you want to take that step for yourself and just go on your own. But know that you've got me with you. And there's a whole group of support in my own organization for helping. Beautiful. Simone and Rick will help. Then there are other people in the organization who've been doing this for years because typically it's not just one issue with the brain.
Yeah.
You have inflammation, or you have sleep issues, or you have illness issues. So there are mix and match patterns and patches that can be used to help improve the different ways you can function with your own life.
Beautiful. And then, of course, you're offering a free consultation, which is always a good idea. And this would be your personal phone number, I'm expecting, and people just text that to you, and away you go.
Exactly. So if my personal reality, text me that. We'll have a free consultation, and let's get you going. Let's get you healing too. Because I wish this was around in 2012 and I knew about it. I could have saved 8 years of pain and struggling. And, it can change so many lives.
It sure can. And I really appreciate you sharing this with us, Chris, because like you just said, there's so many people that can benefit from this. And I'd like to remind everybody that Chris has gone through something that is very common, but not very commonly spoken about. And I'm just very thankful to have this opportunity to have you here, Chris, to have you share your story, share your pain, and inspire some people to reach out to you, to reach into that place where they're going to get some relief, get some growth in the right direction, and end up being better off in the long run because of it. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Yes, thank you so much, and bringing so much light to this issue that so many people around the world have. I appreciate it and appreciate you. Thank you, Dean.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. And we will stay in touch. And thank you for Rick and Simone. I really, they're brother and sister just like you. And I really appreciate them because they have a heart of service, just like yourself, Chris. And it's one of those things where it's all about service for me as well. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to seeing you help some people in an amazing way. Thank you, brother.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.